Hi friends, May Flom here for Dress It Up Buttons, and I'm super excited to bring you into the studio today because it's Halloween time. Okay, so I know it's early September still and it's not technically Halloween time, but if you're like me, you love your Halloween crafting and it's never too early to get a jump start on those projects. So today I'm very excited we're gonna walk through making a little paper banner with some of the new designs, but I'm also going to show you some of the new stuff as well. Now, this side note, tangent, whatever you want to call it, very excited about this. So I got myself a big old organizer, and now look at all this button goodness. And there's even some Jesse James beads goodness in here too. So I've got this big old organizer with all of my buttons and supplies, and it's very exciting because I love my buttons. So let me show you a few of the designs. One of the ones I'm most excited about is the spooky stars. So as you can see, they're glittered. You know, I love my glitter when my glitter is not going to make a mess. And these are a perfect example of that. And I've also got, love my little tiny round buttons are always welcome here, and these ones are great colors, not just for Halloween, but for fall in general. And what I will do with those when it's no longer Halloween creating time, what I will do is to incorporate them into my By the Rainbow button supplies. And then I've got those colors whenever I need them. And of course, in the Halloween section over on the Disney side of things, look at all those little hats, are they cute? And we've got some Nightmare Before Christmas fun. I love all the shapes in here, all the skeletons and all kinds of stuff that could be specifically Nightmare Before Christmas or just could be Halloween in general, which I'm always a fan of all the things that can do more than one thing. And then here we go with, look at the glitter. And I will show you some of these out of packaging too as we get creating, so you'll get to see lots and lots. And I've got a link in the description. I've got a link that will show you a lot of the different products too. And we've also got my personal faves and the stars of the show in today's project. Look at this, the horses. How cute are those? And the little ponies. I love the little ponies so much. They're just so darling, and they're gonna be an absolute blast to create with. So there's lots more, and I'll show you some more here as we transition to the desk and get creating our project as well. And I'm so excited to be with you here today. Please feel free to leave a comment, say hi. What kind of crafting are you doing lately? So I just have to set that down, get it out of our way. What kind of crafting are you doing lately? What's going on in your world? Feel free to leave us a comment and share. We always love hearing from you. Let's transition to the desk. Just gonna cover the camera for a moment so we don't get any dizziness as I whip you around the other direction. And I just have to adjust. If I could come up with a better system, I really would, but I like getting on camera and chatting with you guys a little bit before we get started. So there you go. Ta-da! Now we're there. Now we're at the desk. Okay, so as you can see here on the desk, I have got some supply gathering going. And for a project like this, I really like to go ahead and gather up some supplies that I think will be useful or that I think I'll want. That way, when I'm creating it, I can just be in the moment and create and make. I'll show you a few more. Look at these fun little guys called Strange Magic. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with them just yet, but keep them hanging around. And in here is where I've got a whole lot of loose buttons, so I can show you, like I mentioned, I can show you more. These guys, there's a whole set of these, and you'll have to comment and let us know, what would you make with these guys? Little like Halloween ice creams, Halloween donuts. If you didn't already, there is a video that was posted yesterday that shares all about making a bracelet out of these, and it is the cutest thing. I'm going to have to make one. More ice cream. And of course the stars and ponies, which is why I was digging in here because I need them out. And then of course we've also got monsters. Look at the little googly eyes on those. Isn't that fun? Oh, I just love that. Little bat friend. I'm going to leave our little bat friend out. He might join the party today. Another donut. And the sugar skulls go in their own section. I'm not sure why they're in here with Halloween, but that's okay. Oh, the mummy can be in here with Halloween though. Leave him there. Sugar skulls are so nice. They're so detailed. Love those. And then all of these guys stay here. And I think that's everybody from this section. And as I mentioned, I don't have all of the Halloween here in the studio, but if you go to the link on the live video, if you go to the link there, it'll take you to the Dress It Up shop and you can see all of the options, old and new, for Halloween. So I've got lots of fun little guys here to play with. Lots and lots of fun. And what I'm going to do, I want to make just a little banner that I can put up on the wall or on the mantle or something of that nature. And what I did was I just gathered a bunch of different supplies. So for example, here I have, these are just different fibers and threads and things. I keep them on clothespins just because it's easier storage for me. This thin orange one, I have a big old embroidery needle on. And this nice big embroidery needle, we're probably going to do a little stitching. I just went ahead and got this ready ahead of time because that's always such a pain. Katie is asking if I have social media. Yes, I do. It is Craft with May, both here on Facebook and over on Instagram. And of course, if you're here, then you're already following the Dress It Up shop, which share lots of fun projects over here. And I got lots of fun stuff on the way. Can't wait to share more. Now, what you are seeing mess-wise here, we're going to get ourselves all organized. When I make a project like this, I like to pull everything out and everything I might want to use. I go ahead and pull it out. That way, in the creative process, I don't have to stop and think about, well, what do I have? I just have it and I can just get in here and make it. And then what I have here, when I have scraps of paper, I tend to either punch or die cut scraps instead of just keeping them as scraps. So I went through and found some that were already punched, like all of these orange and black stars. These were already done. I already had these and I thought that might be good. So I've got those. So you could work with any kind of cardstock, pattern paper, stickers. This is a really fun project type because you can really make it work for whatever you have on hand. And then I found these little paper die cut little spooky houses. And then I had a little bit of black left over, so I went ahead and die cut some bats. So I have a bunch of bats. Anything Halloween, anything fall. I mean, you can make this kind of a project for any subject. And then I have a whole bunch of little pre-cut banners. So banners, we can make them whatever shape we would like. I went with this shape because I thought it would be good. And then I am going to have to decide. I know I want to spell out Halloween, and I'm going to put 2 letters on each one. It's going to go H-A. Wait. Was I going to put 2 letters on each one? Oh, that's right. 2 letters on each one, except for the middle one will just have an O. So I had to think about that because there is very much a plan here. We're just going to pull it through. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need 5 for my letters, and then the 2 end ones will be plain. And I kind of start off with a project like this. I want to play with, okay, well, what do I want? Well, I knew right away when I saw these cute little ponies that I needed a project with ponies. And what I was thinking is that I could incorporate both ponies, and we could do unicorns too, I suppose. I think this unicorn. So I wanted to do ponies and unicorns, and I think 2 is good, but I might do 4. We'll see. And then I was also thinking little stars. So what I like to do is, who's the star of my show? Well, in this case, it's very much my buttons, my Shank buttons. I want them to be the star of the show. So if they're going to be the star of the show, I just kind of, this isn't final placements, but I just kind of go through and say, okay, well, you know, do I have enough of the product, whatever products it is I intend to utilize? Do I have enough of those products? Yes, I think it looks like we do. And can I envision, you know, how this is looking? and it's going to say Halloween, and I'm going to hang it up. Is this a vision that I can get behind? Does this make sense? Do I like where this is going? And if I do, if I'm saying yes, okay, so I'm seeing it kind of be like the border, and we're going to go along the edge more with the buttons and things. We're not going to put the buttons in the middle. The buttons are going to be towards the top, towards where it's hanging. Once I have this vision, then I can play around with, okay, and I'm going to add, I can kind of visualize here, okay, well, I think I'm going to add some spooky little houses on the ends, and I think I'll then put some bats in. But if you can tell, I'm just kind of giving myself a vision for what this banner is going to be before I commit. And the reason I do it this way, and the reason I'm including this in our live show today, this part of the process, is by doing it this way, I am making sure that what I'm going to do is going to work. And by that I mean, I'm making sure that as I lay this out visually, that I like what I see, that I don't dislike what I see, so that when I actually start making it, I don't find out that I actually have quite a big problem and this cannot possibly work. And, you know, there's some kind of design flaw that I just personally did not think of. I'm trying to avoid that. And I am also, obviously, trying to avoid wasting any of this great product, any of these great buttons. I don't want to see any of them wasted ever. So that little bit of pre-planning is going to help me kind of have a better vision of where I'm going with this, and then I can go ahead. So the first thing I'm going to do, I cut white. And the reason I cut white is if you see all of our great Halloween buttons, they're very bright, they're very bold. And for me personally, I tend to like, if I'm going to go bright and bold, I tend to like to mix it with some neutrals. So in this case, I thought black would be fine, but I want to accent with black. So go the opposite direction. Let's go with white and help it pop. And we're not going to leave it plain. So the first thing I'm going to do is decorate. And I'll point out to you that you could decorate with a lot of different things. You could decorate here with, you could add strips of pattern paper, washi tape, stickers. I mean, really whatever you've got or whatever you are inspired to decorate with is always fantastic. And one of my goals with these videos here with Dress It Up buttons is to make sure that I'm sharing very flexible ideas with you, that the ideas we're sharing here can be a lot of different things. Stamps would work, stencils would work. That's what I'm going to do first. So I have a stencil and some ink. It could be any ink, any stencil. You could make your own stencil as well. And I'm going to put just a few bats on a few of these. So I'm going to do bats on 3 of these, and I'm just kind of tapping, if you're not familiar with stencils, just kind of tapping the ink pad and tapping the stencil. And because of the surface of my desk and everything, I already know that this is going to take to ink very easily. And we're going to have some bats. And you can see I didn't put much in the middle so that the middle becomes kind of faded. And then I'm also going to just use this, and this is a little foam tool that I'm going to use to just kind of put some more on the outside, kind of give us a little bit of a little funky, little aged look there. So I'm going to do that real quick on, I think I'll do this on 2 of them, and then I'll do a different color for the 3rd. Just nice and quick and easy. Not a ton of thought as to, is this perfect? That's something really important when we're making our projects, and especially a lot of our different craft projects where, you know, life is stressful enough and things are hard enough. We don't need to be thinking about, or I don't need to be setting myself up for, well, if this isn't absolutely perfect, it's going to be terrible. Well, that doesn't sound like very much fun. So I try to be careful that I make sure that not just that the projects I'm using or creating are going to have a high rate of success, not just that, but that also I'm doing things in a way that's going to be fun for me to create. I want to make sure that my creative process is going to be a fun experience and I have a high likelihood of success. So things like an ink with stencils, that's very easy and very simple. And as you can see, very fast too. So that's a lot of fun. All right, so I have some bats, and then I also want to put some stars in here because we have some different star things going on. So we'll do some stars. Ooh, and this is kind of a cool little pattern there too. I'll grab my orange ink pad. Now these are distress inks, but absolutely any ink would work. Any ink at all. So in this guy, I'll kind of follow the pattern here. And sometimes when I first get it going, I need to add a little more ink. Let's see. Ooh, that's fun. Just kind of some random stars here. And let's do this one a little differently. This one I'll put him over here. And these ones I'm not edging because I'm going to edge with a different color. So we'll add those in a little bit. Ooh, isn't that fun? Okay, and then our two end ones. So these ones are going to be very heavily decorated. So I think I'm just going to leave those plain. But I'm going to add a little bit of dark edging to all of them. And the reason I'm going to do that, a bit of dark, oh, that's the wrong, no, that's okay. Wait, yeah, that's right. The reason I do a little dark edging on all of them is just so that there's kind of that continuity, so that they all have something in common. You can do banners where everything is wildly different, and you can also do, if you're more interested in doing like a single larger banner and then getting a dowel or something and hanging it with that, that's a really fun project. I love those. And in fact, I have a couple that I'm going to be working with and putting on my page soon because I just love doing those. Make sure everybody's got a little ink on the edges. You can see how I'm okay with if it's a little messy because this is not a project where we're looking for a very clean, crisp, precise thing. This is Halloween and we're a little funky and maybe there's some cobwebs. So perfection is not expected. All right, so these guys are gonna be the middles and these are gonna be my ends. So I'm going to set my ends aside and then I'm going to decide on order here, which is gonna be like that. So our purple's in the middle. So we've got all those great colors, as you can see. I've got all those great colors that we're doing and that we're going to have within the banner and going on with everything else that we've got here. So now I'm going to get out some letter stickers. Now, you don't need to use alphabet letter stickers if you don't have them. I just happen to really like that font and think it was cute. You could use stamps. You could do printout. You can print out any font you want on the computer and then cut the letters out. That would look really cool. You've always got, I know I'm kind of famous for saying it, but you always have options. There are always things that you can be doing. And then I'm just going to kind of space these guys a bit, just so it becomes a little more obvious what I'm doing here. Not too close to the edge because I'm probably going to overlap these a bit and keep them really tight, but you could. You could go all the way to the edge if you wanted. Okay, and then the O is by itself. And onward, this is so fun. And these kinds of banners, you have a lot of flexibility as far as how would you like, and that guy, again, I got a little close to the edge there. I always do that. How would you like it to go? Meaning, would you like would you like to spend a lot of time? You could really spend a lot of time doing all kinds of techniques and complex things. Or do you want it to go a little faster? Do you want to spend half an hour? Do you want to spend 4 hours? You can pick and choose a lot of different time amounts to spend on your project. So with this done, now we have our base. Now we have our Halloween and we have our general plan. Now what I'm going to do is set these guys aside and sort out the ends. Now we're getting close to our buttons, which is my personal favorite part. So I'm always like, when can I start gluing the buttons? When can I start gluing the buttons? I'm going to put our little, so these are just little paper die cut shapes that are kind of like spooky little houses here that I just thought was kind of fun and that I would utilize. Because why not, right? If I had it and we want some little shapes, then awesome, let's have some little shapes. So I'm going to put these kind of at funky little angles here on the two ends and trim that off. And now it's up to you if you want to glue, if you want to staple, how do you want to put everything together on the banner? There's not really a wrong answer. So I have done some where I punch holes in them and then weave ribbon or something through. I've done ones where I've attached some kind of ribbon or something with stitching on the machine. You're really not having a wrong answer here. It's just a matter of what do you like? What would you like to do here? And I'm debating, you can share what you would do. I'm feeling like I would like, well, first I want to make sure that there's a loop on the end so that it can actually attach to something here when we've got it all done. But I'm thinking I actually like the orange on the front. I think that's cute. I think it adds a good color. And I think, yep, I've got a teeny tiny craft stapler actually. And again, there's a lot of different ways we can attach this. We could do brads or eyelets. We could do sewing. We can do glue. I'm doing the stapler for two reasons. Number one, I think that it looks, oh, that's right, that's the end. So I'm going to go ahead and staple this all together before we add buttons because I think that it'll go better the way I want to add some of these buttons. So I'm going to kind of bend this around here, and it does not repeat after me. This does not have to be perfect. We are having fun. We are having fun and we are creating, and you can see that I am kind of layering some of these banners to one side or to the other to kind of adjust for how I want it to kind of flow. You don't have to. Remember, you could leave lots of space between if you want lots of space between. I just kind of had a vision. And I thought, you know what? I think that will look really cool. Oop, my staple got stuck. There we go. I thought it would look really cool and I wanted to try it. Uh-oh. If we get a stapler problem, just open it up. And I'm using this little tiny craft stapler, but you really could use whatever you have on hand. There's not a right or a wrong here. There we go. If it gets jammed up, just open it up and check out what's going on or how you can get it fixed up. Most of these staples are going to be covered by the time we're done. I think. We're gonna find out. Oh my goodness. I'm a goof. That's okay. This is one of the things I actually love about doing live broadcasts is you guys get to see when I goof. And it happens. It happens. I'm always very honest about it too. So I skipped on ahead. For some reason, I decided to pick the end instead of the middle. Not a big deal. Staples come out super easy. And actually, I'll be very honest. One of the reasons I really like using these little staples on projects like this is that it's very forgiving. So if I mess up, I can just pop it out and fix it, and no harm, no foul, no damage, nothing wrong here. So I find that to be really helpful. Let's see, how are we going here? All right. Get it all stapled in here. I like when a project is super forgiving and I can just carry on. And that's one of the things. Hot glue would work here, but again, hot glue, it gets to be a little tricky if things are not going just so. It can get a little tricky, and there's always the worry about burning yourself, which, well, let's be honest, I've done that many a time. It happens, but not too much, thankfully. I just don't tend to use a hot glue gun when it's already over 100 degrees outside. So I do not need more heat in this room, not right now. And then I just cut off a length and tied a little knot so that we'll be able to tie this. Your ends, I'm very flexible on my ends until I actually have the command strips or whatever I'm using to tie this all together. I leave the ends just kind of loose because I can always add more. I can always add more length or change that up. But I mean, we're cute as it is, and it's just getting started because now, guys, now we get to the really good stuff. Now we get to the super fun part. So our buttons, we have options. I love having options. I have some thread here, and we absolutely could, with a needle and thread, and use the shank part of the button there, pull a needle and thread through and attach them in that way. My problem in this particular example is that the dimension that the shank will add, plus hanging these up, I am concerned that what'll end up happening is the buttons won't stay as flat as I would like. They'll have more movement than I would like just because of how I'm hanging this up. So in most of the cases here, I'm going to take a pair of scissors, and this particular pair of scissors is called Power Cut. So as you can imagine, it's pretty strong. If you have the little shank, actually, these are not doing a very good job. Huh. Oh, they're too big. That's why they're just way too big. I have a tiny pair that works really well. We'll grab those. But if you have something specifically to cut the shanks off the buttons, that's great. If you have scissors, if you have, sometimes out in the garage, you can find some good tools out in the garage to trim that off. You can go ahead and trim the shanks. I'll trim a couple as we go is what I'm going to do, is I'll trim a couple and then we'll place them, and then we'll trim a couple more and repeat. Also, I want a few more of these unicorns. On this side, I want a purple unicorn. Or maybe I want the unicorn in the middle. I don't know. I'm just going to start going. So now that I have the base, here's a great part of running a project in this manner. Now that I have the base down, I've established the base, we have how we're going to hang it. What I can really do is get in here and decorate in whatever way I would like, but I can really get in here and decorate and have fun with the decoration aspect and not worry about how it's going to affect my design. I'm not going to have to worry about if this is going to work or not because I already did the design part. I already have the design all set and I already know that it's going to work. It's just a matter of how I would like to see it decorated and how I would like to see it shine here as a project. This is a fun one. And as far as how exactly are you going to work and how are you going to sort everything out, that's going to be your personal preference. There's two different ways that I do this. Sometimes I'll do what I seem to be going this direction now. Sometimes I will say, you know what? I really like I want to work from one end of the banner to the other. And that's wonderful. Absolutely fantastic. If you would like to do that, please do. Or you can say, I'm going to find a piece, say, I like this piece, place that piece, and repeat in that way so that I am putting one thing at a time as I find things that I like, that I want to place. I'm going to place those and work all over the place. Neither way is correct. Neither way is wrong. Both ways completely work depending on what you would like. What I'm really doing here is just kind of, I am going across, but if I find something and I think, okay, I really would like this in this particular place, then I'll go ahead and put it there. If I already see and I already know, I really want this, I'll bring you guys down here a little more. I really want this to be here, then I'll go ahead and put something there. But if then I think, oh, you know what? No, I changed my mind and I want this other thing in this other place, not a problem. We can always add, we can always alter. I am always reminding myself that nothing, I'm using a liquid adhesive that stays very, very flexible and movable so long as the glue is wet. And with that in mind, what that means to me is, as I create here, I am going to be able to create and alter and change things as I go until the glue is dry. So that kind of brings in a nice little added benefit of, you know, I don't have to worry about things being set in stone. Well, not immediately. Not immediately. I'll have a little playtime. And I'm using the stars. Oh, I just love these stars. I cannot say enough good things or get enough of these Halloween spooky stars. And I did get a question that, yes, all of the stuff, all the Halloween buttons that we're showing here today, they are all out. They are all available. You can find them all in the Dress It Up shop, and there's links on this live video. There's links on the Dress It Up Facebook page. Lots of ways to get on over there and check out all the fun stuff. All right, so what do we have? We still have 3 ponies. I'm thinking the black pony will be next. I'm thinking I'll put him like here. So just a matter of what do you like? And by having all my stuff here, you can see that I'm really able to just dig right into the creative process of, I have these things, let's play, let's see what we can make with these things that I have. And I really like doing that. I really find it to be just such a super fun and satisfying way of creating. It's just, I get to just, you know, sit here and play and enjoy and not really, you know, overthink like, oh gosh, you know, will that be good enough or anything like that. By having everything out that I could possibly want to use, it helps me get more done. And also, this is a really great way if you've got, I know we all do it, got a bit of a craft stash thing going on, right? Where, you know, I've got a lot of stash and a lot of supplies here and I really should use more. Well, if you've got them out while you work on your project, and I'm just scooting things over so I can keep working. If you've got your stuff out and you've got your supplies out, okay, well, I've got everything out, here we go. It's much easier to use when it's already out. It's much easier to say, okay, well, here's what I'm doing and I'm using this because it's already out. You've already got it there. Okay, this is super fun. I love this little bat. And I've been looking for a reason or a place to put him. Just so cute. Look at that with the googly eyes. So we're going to put him here with this star. Now, one of the things you might notice me doing is you'll notice how like I'm putting the orange star with the black pony or the black star over here, putting the black star underneath the orange one so that it kind of pops more, right? So it kind of shows more. That's something you'll see me do a lot of. And the reason for it is just to kind of help where contrast is needed. So for example, orange on orange really isn't going to show up all that much. So that really, that helps out putting the contrast up there. All right. Now I'm going to start at the far other end. And the reason is I know I want the purple pony. What else I want to have going on. And so I want, like, what else exactly do I want to fit in here? I'm not entirely sure. So by going all the way to the other end, all the way over here, and then working back, now that kind of gives me the ability to look at, play with, and make some decisions as far as what else we've got and what else we want to use. I will definitely have to remember to collect up and throw out all my little shank bits. There's kind of a lot of them going on here, but my goodness, this is fun. And this turned out exactly what in my head I was thinking. I had a vision in my head as soon as I saw these ponies and I thought, oh my gosh, they can be, the little Pegasus ponies can be flying through my living room with this banner. And that's going to be so, so cute. And I want to do it. And I'm just loving how it turned out. It turned out exactly as my head envisioned, which is always a happy thing. All right, I'm going to put this guy here. I feel like I want one more little black star, and I feel like I want one more pony in here. Let's see. And as you can see, I ended up covering up the stitches. So the stitches did not end up mattering because they're all, it could have been, I could have attached this in any way. This could have been stitching, it could have been anything, but the staples are just all ended up covered up and not seen anyway. All right, well, I am completely loving this. And I just am thinking I was thinking initially that maybe I would add in some beads, and I think I will. I'll show you what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to pull back out if you missed it. And if you are watching this live, of course, you can always catch the replay. There's always options for you here, but I have some Jesse James beads, and I think these two. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So I have some, I've got this organizer I'm using now, and I'm just loving it because I've got, like, look, there's all my Disney, all the Disney Halloween. Now, if you're super into Disney Halloween and the not so spooky stuff or the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, we 100% have some more tutorials coming for you. So be sure to stay tuned to the Dress It Up social media because we've got more inspiration, more projects coming your way. So exciting. Okay, so here's some beads, and this particular one is a little Halloween. Look at how cute. The Jesse James mini mixes I find really super fun for all of my crafty projects. Well, for jewelry obviously, but for all of my crafty projects where I've got an idea and I want to do something, but I'm not needing like a whole bunch of beads. I just want kind of an assortment. These are a lot of fun because there's just a few of them. So I've got my super giant embroidery needle here. And the very first thing I'm going to do is figure out how long I want this thread. Because I want it to go like there to there. And I've got a bit of excess. I'm going to go ahead and snip that off. And the reason I'm going to snip that off is because I don't want this to go too far. I don't want this part to go to a length. And yes, I need to pay attention to where I'm tying my knot because I just did my knot and then did it in a different place. That's okay though. All right, we just need a big enough knot here that whatever bead comes down to the end can't escape. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. And this is a crazy idea, I suppose, because I don't actually know if it's going to work or not because I haven't actually tried it yet. So let's do it. I'm pulling this back out because I realize how I'm doing this is not going to work the way I thought it was. I'm going to put this, whoops. Okay, so I got to be careful because normally what I would do and what I would advise you to do, normally I would let this dry completely before I attempted this next part. However, I'm very excited and I want to show you how this would work. So we're gonna make it work. I'm just gonna slide this banner. I just need to be very careful to keep my banner fairly flat because my glue is still wet. And because my glue is still wet, that means, you guessed it, anything that I do is gonna move. Some of these guys are gonna move a little more than others. So I just want to be aware and just remember, if you do decide to do it like me, instead of waiting and letting things dry, not actually a big deal, not actually a problem. Totally works. All you got to do is just keep an eye on it and make sure you haven't done anything too funky. And this idea, the way I'm tying these on, I got this idea from how the little knotted bracelet that was on live here on our not the Jesse James. I watched the Jesse James beading and I love it so much. I love watching all the stuff those ladies come up with. But no, that's not what I mean. What I mean is here on the Dress It Up buttons, there was a really cute little Halloween bracelet and Brittany was tying knots to keep things together or keep things from moving too far. And I thought, oh, when I go to do my little Halloween thing, that would be fun. That could work. And so here's what we're going to do. Basically, we're just running beads in a strand, in and out, all around to add like even more funkiness to our banner. Now, I am going to do this, and I didn't say I was going to do this part up front because I wasn't sure that by the time I got to here that it was going to look right or that it was going to work. But then once we got in here, I thought, oh my gosh, this is absolutely perfect. I love this. I have to share this with them. Okay, so I put a knot on either side. It's really just to keep it from going too wonky. And then, let's see, let's do a white one. So I've just got two different, this is from the ice cream collection, and this one is called Halloween. And when the live is over there on this post, I will add, so if you're watching on replay, I will add in all of the details on what got used and everything like that so that you can easily find links for everything. And also over on the Dress It Up website, this always gets posted. So if you're ever looking over on the Dress It Up website, remember I said it's okay if we have a little oopsie. If somebody falls off with glue, it's not a problem. Do not freak out. If you don't like that happening, well then just wait a little bit of time, let your glue dry. If you don't care, like I don't care, then go ahead. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna make it go like this. Now I'm gonna do 2 more just so that you can see how that does. And then what I will do is set it aside, let it totally dry, and keep on going, because this takes some time. When you are doing these, it's not super fast. It takes a bit of time. And the reason is just because you're going through and you're doing your beading and you want to be careful. You don't want to have things go all over the place. The cool thing about this is it is very simple to do. It's very fun to do. And this is a great way to use up, we're going to use up some little beads that we've got and have a lot of fun doing it. So I'll show you one more time here what I'm doing basically. And you could do this in so many different ways and with so many different things. I'm really a big fan of, okay, I have this leftover, whatever the leftover might be. How can I use it? Okay, well, I have this project that, wouldn't hurt to have a few little beads or a few little things on. Well, okay, then there we go. That's how we figure out which one we're going to use or which one would be a great choice for our project. Is what do you got? What do you got? What do you want? What do you think would work? And look at that. Look at that beautiful, shiny bead. Okay. And you can see I'm kind of like, well, I think I'm just going to, oh no, I'll do one more. I do kind of just test though. What length do I think I want it? How many knots or how many beads am I feeling like would be a good idea here? And those kind of questions, and then whatever my answers might be, really those just help me make sure that whatever I'm doing, I'm going to be doing it in a way that should work really well for my project. So I've got this guy. I'm going to go ahead and pop back through right about here. And again, we want to be nice and careful because everything is wet. This is the advantage if you wanted to select hot glue, is that hot glue is basically instantly dry. The downside is all the little hot glue spiders, which now that I'm thinking about it, I suppose for Halloween, hot glue spiders, not such a bad thing. All right. Oh, that's fun. That's super fun. Isn't that cute? So you can see now I've got added little bead fun. Added little guys, all our little Halloween. So this kicks off. This is the first project that I have done that's a decor project really specifically for Halloween. Got lots of fall and autumn inspiration already up that you can certainly see. If you go to the past videos, you'll find lots of ideas and lots more on the way. So I hope to see you again in future. Hope you will stop back by. And as I mentioned before, I'm just going to keep on doing that all the way through until it's all the way finished. So super cute, so much fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and following Dress It Up buttons. I hope that you will share, whether it's Halloween or whatever other theme you've got. I hope you will share whatever creations you are making. We always love seeing what you are crafting with these buttons that are so fun to play with. I'll see you next time.